All right, we are live, baby. Milton. Oop, got some booze all over the laptop. That's a good start. Cheers, buddy.
Cheers.
All right, so welcome to 2 and 6 Sports.
Glad
This is the
to be here.
podcast where we drink an excessive amount and we talk some sports. My name is Mike, your friendly neighborhood Eagles fan, and I'm joined today by my guest, Milton.
You're a friendly 49ers fan.
Yep, so Milton, the last time the 49ers and the Eagles met, it was the NFC Championship game. You remember what happened in the NFC Championship game?
I do remember what happened, and it resulted in, which you're probably going to have to play these photos after or air these up, resulted in me wearing an Eagles jersey.
That's right.
Taking a few photos with you because we ended up losing, not having a quarterback, which you guys seem to be very excited about, going to the Super Bowl. You know,
Yep.
cakewalk is what I like to say. But revenge comes this Sunday.
We're going to get into that game specifically a little bit later, but just for some context, the Dallas Cowboys used to be the Philadelphia Eagles' most hated rival. It's not the case anymore. I don't even care about the Dallas games anymore. The 49ers, despite me and Milton having a friendly relationship here at work, 49ers are my most hated rival. I hate the team. I hate their fans, except for Milton, basically. I absolutely hate you guys with all my heart. So this coming Sunday, this game, it means a lot to me. But what I think is going to happen, honestly, well, you know what? We're going to save that. We have to save what's happening.
The feels are mutual.
Yeah.
I can't. Besides a few Eagles fans, you know, like yourself, I have a buddy, Jason. We're good because we can have civil conversations. But the majority, you guys are worse than Patriots fans.
How's that even possible?
Absolutely worse than Patriots fans.
I don't know how that's possible, man. I mean, my roommate. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to give anyone ammunition here. He's a funny guy. He always says the same thing to me about Philly fans, but I'm not giving anyone ammo here.
Yeah. But yeah, no, you guys are, I would say, one of the, I don't care what any report says, because they say that New England's like one of the worst. I put you guys over New England.
Well, we have a passionate fan base, you know. I went to Philly one time to watch a joint practice. It was when Michael Vick was on the team. That was crazy, seeing Michael Vick throw the ball in person, like live, because he could just sling it without even trying.
I remember when he came back into the NFL and he joined the Eagles, you guys were a powerhouse that first year with him back.
Yes,
Darren
Deshaun
Sproles,
Jackson, Jeremy Maclin.
Yeah. Yeah, that was, I think my favorite moment was that Deshaun Jackson punt return touchdown. Was it against the Giants?
Miracle in the Meadowlands. That was the anniversary was this last week.
Yes, that was one of the best. One of the best things I've ever seen in the NFL happen. It was the
Donnie
craziest
probably
thing.
wasn't happy about that, but
No, he wasn't. No.
I definitely enjoyed it. That was crazy, honestly. Yeah, that was absolutely nuts. But so we're this far. What week are we on? We're week 12 or 13.
13.
We're on week 13. Eagles are 10-1. 49ers are what? 8-3? Are you 7-3? 8-3?
9-. No, yeah, 8-3. 8-3 because we already had our bye week.
That's not bad. That's about where we thought everything was going to fall. Are you surprised about anything else so far in the season? You know, we're not. Our teams are basically doing what we thought they would.
Yeah, I predicted them to be about a 3-4 loss team this year, especially with Brock Purdy being the quarterback. You know, I know he's not going to be perfect. The past couple of years, we dealt with injuries, so I figured we'd be up there like the 2 or 3 seed, but we're gunning for that one. We're gunning.
Think you can?
100%. 100%.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Because think about it. See, we're getting into the game specifically. I don't want to get into the game yet. I want to leave people on a cliffhanger here because I have a lot of thoughts about this game.
Those are the next 2 topics that we have.
Oh, we got Jackass first.
Let's go. Let's do Jackass because this is a fun one.
Oh, the Jackass?
You know, I like to say, as much as I am a diehard Niners fan, I would like to say that I'm more of a football fan in general, but definitely a diehard Niners fan. So watching these games, I'm going to have to say, you know, if I had to pick a Jackass of the week, for all you guys who've watched football, if you guys have seen the Steelers and Bengals game, and the lovely Deontay Johnson and his lovely effort that he put into that game.
Insane.
To let a run happen and then watch the ball come out loose. You don't even care to block anyone. You don't care to even go for the ball. You watch.
How did you find out about that? Like what?
I watched it
live because I
Yeah.
haven't seen it anywhere else.
Yeah, live. So
Why
I
are they
have,
not covering that? You think they would cover that?
You would think. I think right now it seems to be that it seems to be like ESPN and all the sports places are more circling around the Patriots and kind of core teams that were kind of like a dominant team that are now becoming shit. So covering them. The Steelers have always been, a team
Mediocre.
a little bit above 500. Mike Tomlin, but yeah, I watched it live. That's the one thing about having the NFL sports package that I got.
Yep, Sunday tickets best.
Yeah, Sunday
The
ticket.
best.
I have it. So I was circling through, and I just happened to watch that play happen.
What do you think's going on there? Why is Deontay Johnson being such a jackass? Is he upset about his contract? What's going on? Like what?
I think it's more of you got a talented guy who's not getting the ball, who's just frustrated. We see this we see this time and time again. Think about OBJ. Him in New
Has he
York.
ever done that though? I've never seen OBJ just flat out stop.
No, I don't think he's gone that low, but some of these guys, their emotions take the best of them. I think that's just what it comes down to. It's just he's an emotional guy, and it just got the best of him, and that wasn't a good look.
Yeah, it's not a good look.
Maybe he didn't see it, as he claims he says.
If I'm a coach, if I'm a GM, and I see that tape, I don't care what else he does from here on out. He's not on my team.
I would cut him the next day, 100%.
Like that's like the one thing you can't do is like quit like that.
No.
If you're a problem or something, talk about it after the game. Talk about it like behind closed doors.
Yeah.
But to just quit on your teammates like that,
You just pulled an AB. 100%.
to a lesser extent, it's like going AWOL if you're in the military. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
your brothers are out there with you. They're all fighting, sweating, and bleeding, and you just like run away.
Yeah, you watch your brother get shot, and you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah. And these guys, honestly, it's not to the same degree, but a lot of these guys leave the game with injuries and things like that are going to affect them for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
So to see someone put that little effort in, that's crazy. Had I known about that, that would have been my jackass of the week. But my jackass of the week,
Let's hear it.
it's got to go to Bill Belichick.
Bill Belichick.
I know a lot of you guys are Patriots fans. Yeah. But
Welcome to the sucky football club, baby.
Yeah, welcome to the Kevin Cobb days that I had to experience in the late 2000s, I should say. You know how bad it was watching Kevin Cobb lead my team out of the tunnel every week, just knowing we were about to get our fucking asses kicked.
I'm with you. Do you know how bad it was watching Alex Smith for 7 years? Which, granted, Alex Smith is a good quarterback, but to deal with a different offensive coordinator and almost a different head coach every year and start fresh. But let's hear what about Bill and the Patriots? Let's let everyone know why you're a jackass of the week.
You just lost to the Giants. I don't know how you lose to the Giants, dude. Like, look at this. Where are they? I just had these stats up. So all right. It's bad enough you just lost to the Giants, but let's go over some of these stats right now and just talk about how the league is just surpassing Bill Belichick by, and all you Patriots fans just sitting here just waiting for it to turn around. It's never going to turn around. You got trying to get Bill Belichick to coach a team to a 10+ win season right now is like buying a 1970 Cadillac and hoping the thing runs. It's not, it's just a bad strategy. So let's see. We got you guys have scored 16 touchdowns on the season. The Patriots have 16 touchdowns. We're in week 11, 12, 13, something?
13, averaging only 13.5 points a game.
It's insane.
That's
it's
disgusting.
insane. Bill's got to go.
100%.
Bill's got to go. I'm not even a Patriots fan. Bill's got to go. But I'll tell you one thing. Patriots fans, you guys aren't as loyal as you think you are.
No.
I'll tell you one thing. My roommate, he doesn't even fucking watch the games anymore.
No.
Doesn't even watch them.
They became Buccaneers fans when Brady left.
Exactly. All the Patriots fans became Bucks fans. You guys aren't loyal. You guys aren't loyal at all. You guys experienced the best streak that you're ever going to experience in a 20-year span of football, and it's all downhill from here, and I love it.
I love it too.
Yeah.
It makes me happy.
We're here for it.
100%. We're here for it.
All right, so let's see. Up next, we got the 49ers. This is your team, so I'll let you take it away. You know, we can talk about 49ers 2023, 2022. Anything you want to go with 49ers, you know?
Yeah, I think we can honestly combine 3 and 4 because a lot of it's going to be between both our teams and our takes on them. And, you know, I just think that my biggest pet peeve that I have, the thing that truly grinds my gears, America, and for you guys that are watching, is nobody wants to give Brock Purdy his flowers that he deserves and he's worked hard for. If with the numbers that he has, right?
He's worked hard.
If the numbers that he has, let me pull up his stats real quick, right?
So while you're doing that, I'll tell you right now, my issue with last year's NFC Championship game and 49er fans, it had nothing to do with Brock Purdy. It had not really much to do with the team itself. It had to do with the fact that people seemed to say, oh, the 49ers didn't have a fair chance, as if Brock Purdy slipped on a banana peel coming out of the tunnel before the game. It's part of the game to be able to withstand hits. Now, I'm not saying I could have. I'm not saying he should have been able to, but I'm just saying that's part of the game. So, yeah,
I agree.
And you've never used that as an excuse, but 49er fans as a whole have. I never used an excuse when Carson Wentz was knocked out of that Seattle game by Jadeveon Clowney. By a dirty hit, by the way. I'll tell you that right now. That was a dirty hit by Jadeveon Clowney. Gave Carson a concussion, hit him in the back of the head. You remember that?
That was like what? That was the time where he was out for the year and then Nick Foles
It was right before
in?
we drafted Jalen Hurts, the year right before that.
Okay, yeah, that was the year that Nick Foles stepped in, no? Or was that after that happened?
It was after that.
After,
it was the year right after.
That was a dirty play.
It was a dirty play.
It was 100%.
Yeah. Well, sorry, I'm hijacking your time. We're talking about Brock Purdy here.
But the man, since coming in the league, the last pick of the draft, you expect nothing out of him, right?
It's true.
We all did. I'm not going to lie. When Jimmy G got hurt in that Dolphins game, my first initial reaction is, we're fucked. We're done. You know, I settled for Jimmy G. I liked him, didn't love him.
He was a winner.
And this is why I want to say there's a difference, right? Yes, he was a winner. People love to say that, you know, Jimmy and Brock Purdy are a systematic quarterback and they're just under the system. But if you look at the numbers compared Brock Purdy and this 49ers offense compared to Jimmy G and this 49ers offense, is Jimmy G scoring or our offense with Jimmy G, we weren't scoring as much. I think we were averaging, 20 points a game? With Brock Purdy, we were averaging over 30 points a game, right? And that's, you know, even this year, before we had the first 3 losses that we had, we were averaging about 30, 35 points a game, beating our opponents by double digits. But back to what I was saying, he deserves his flowers. He's 15-4 as a starter. That's a 79% win percentage. He has 2,871 passing yards. He's 19 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, and that's not including rushing touchdowns. And he's also
What does he get for rushing touchdowns?
I believe he has a handful, but I wasn't.
Does he really? Wow.
I didn't even want to count that. I want to count for the throwing, right? And then he has a passer rating of 112.3 just this year alone. And what grinds my gears is because he's a the last pick of the draft, nobody talks about him. They want to just say he's, under Kyle's offense. But if he was drafted higher, he would be talked as much as Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, Trevor Lawrence, Tua, all these top guys that were, drafted earlier than he was. And that right there is what grinds my gears about people against the 49ers.
I'd say that's a fair take,
The kid's a
draft
winner.
The draft is a crapshoot, to be honest with
It
you. You
is.
know, like you'll have more stock, and GMs want to put more stock in earlier round picks. Like one thing, I'm glad that Howie doesn't do too much of. He does a little bit, but a lot of teams will keep a player on their roster just because they drafted them.
Yep.
Even though somebody else deserves that spot.
Yeah.
What the fuck? What are we talking about right now? What do I?
The 49ers?
Yeah, but
And how the kid deserves his flowers, and he's just a fucking savage who wins games, plain and simple. Get on the Brock Purdy train and stop being a fucking hater.
okay, all right. So we're on to the Eagles, and that kind of segues nicely because I'll start this off by comparing Jalen Hurts to Brock Purdy in their overall careers as of 2 weeks ago. So the last 2 weeks don't count. Okay. So we got playoffs head to head.
You're gonna talk 2 weeks, 2 good weeks of Brock Purdy and 2 bad weeks of Jalen.
To that. I don't have access to it. Jalen had good games last 2 weeks, so it goes both ways. So we got playoffs. Brock Purdy 0-1, Jalen Hurts 1-0. It's pretty important.
You said playoffs?
Yeah, playoffs.
No, he's
Head to head.
Head to head. All right, got it. I just want to get clarity and context.
Yep, in the playoffs.
Go ahead.
And then overall stats, we got Brock Purdy at 20, Jalen Hurts at 56. Brock Purdy QB record 13-3. Jalen Hurts 33-12. That about equals to about the same thing. You know, if you extrapolate Purdy's numbers to 56 games like Jalen, I believe it's the same thing, if not like close to one or two games.
Oh, that's what it is. Your numbers are not including playoffs because I had this same debate with somebody yesterday, and this was season stats where I have Jalen Hurts at 33-12 and Brock Purdy at 15-4. You minus his playoff run 13-3. So yeah, it makes sense.
But what I want to talk about a little here is if you run down the numbers and extrapolate them to the same amount of games that Jalen's played, they're comparable, if not better than Jalen's.
They are.
You know? But as Brandon Graham said last week to the Buffalo Bills and everybody on their sideline, you don't know Jalen. You must not know Jalen because it's not about those numbers. Jalen is a modern-day Michael Jordan. Jalen is a modern-day Tom Brady in a way that nobody here is used to thinking of Tom Brady. What was Tom Brady's best attribute? What was his best attribute? The best thing about him?
Put the team first. That's what. I'm going to agree with you about that with Jalen.
He's not the most talented quarterback.
He's
in the
not.
league.
You want to know when?
He's not even the top 5.
If he wasn't an Eagles, on the Eagles, I would be more in love with him. You want to know
He'd
when?
be winning anywhere he went, I think.
I don't think so.
Not the same record, obviously.
No. Do you want to know when I fell in love with Jalen Hurts? Do you remember that NCAA championship game in Alabama where he got benched and Tua took over?
Oh yeah.
And you watched his post game interview?
I don't remember it, but
for anyone watching, go watch that post game interview and watch Jalen Hurts, and you'll see that's exactly why I fell in love with him. He's a good guy.
Yeah, everything that the dude does ever since Carson was still on the team. There was a shot I think of Jason Kelce after this Buffalo Bills win of and this kind of goes to what we talk about at work a lot is being even keeled and not being too high and not being too low. There was a shot of Jalen Hurts being congratulated by Jason Kelce, or I think it was Brandon Graham after the game, after the Bills game, and we won that crazy, insane game. That was a crazy game. You watched it?
I was fourth quarter. I maybe watched like the last 5 minutes into overtime.
That 60-yard field goal in the rain to tie it, dude.
I
Oh my
couldn't
God.
believe that.
That was nuts.
That ball all over the place. I thought you missed.
Jake Elliott's the best kicker in Eagles history, by the way. He's better than David Akers. He's better.
I can see it.
He's better. But Jalen Hurts after the win in Buffalo, he's getting congratulated by Brandon Graham. He was a very extravagant character. Jalen Hurts, stone cold killer. No expression on his face. Just hugging his teammates because he knows the job's not done.
Yeah.
You know, Jalen's that guy that you'd follow into battle. Jalen's that guy you'd take a bullet for if you knew him. Jalen's that guy that you would do anything for. which is the it factor. Now, I'm not saying Brock Purdy's not a hard worker. He could be the first person in the building, last person to leave. I don't know. But he's not that alpha that Jalen is. He's not that man that Jalen. You know what I'm saying? Like he doesn't have that
it factor.
So I'll say this: Brock Purdy has about it's similar intangibles as Jalen as far as being a quarterback goes and talent levels. Like he doesn't seem to be an overly athletic individual, just like Jalen. Jalen's very strong. Spends a lot of time lifting weights, so he's obviously stronger than Brock, but. It's comparable, their athleticism. You know what I mean? They seem about the same
they do.
athletically. So the fact that Brock's doing what he's doing with that does say a lot about him. But he's not Jalen.
No, and I'll say that. I agree. Jalen does have that it factor, and that's the one thing I'll give Jalen compared to Brock, because Brock hasn't been in this many situations, is the 49ers offense and their defense past couple of years rarely find themselves playing behind, unlike the Eagles. And that's what separates the two is we haven't seen too many times of Brock Purdy being behind, or even the 49ers offense, or the 49ers in general, playing from behind, because generally speaking, we enter the game and it's a domination. It's flat out what it is.
You know what happens when you do get behind, though? Brock Purdy has the worst QB rating in the league when you're behind.
Don't even say Brock Purdy. Kyle Shanahan can't seem to draw up plays to help us get out of playing behind.
That's fair. Whoever it's on, Brock Purdy is still steering the ship, though.
And he's only had 3 games playing behind.
Just 3? He's lost more than 3.
No.
Didn't he lose?
You can't count the Eagles game.
No, he didn't. That's right. No, it was only 3. That's right. Yeah, because he didn't lose one last year.
Those were his only 3 regular season losses, and the only reason why we lost to the Browns, fuck you Browns, for all talking shit. But the only reason why we lost that game is Brock Purdy did have that it factor in him, did drive down the field with less than 2 minutes to go, did put the 49ers in position to kick the game-winning field goal, but Jake Moody choked. Robbie Gould, we miss you. I love you. Please come back.
Is he in the league still, Robbie Gould?
He's a free agent. He's waiting.
Wow.
He's waiting. We did him dirty.
That's good.
We did him dirty. We should have just paid the man what he deserves. And honestly, we should be 9-2 right now, because we should have never lost that game to the Browns. The Bengals game and the Vikings game, 100%. That was pure lack of experience and trying to make plays that any experienced quarterback would have never made. And that's why we lost those 2 games.
See, it's objectivity, 49ers fans. You guys could use some of that. All right, so we're on to fantasy.
I fucking hate fantasy. At least I hate fantasy in the league that we're in. I'm in 4 leagues.
Oh shit! Yeah, that's quite a few leagues. I mean, you got to be doing good in one of them, right?
3 of them I'm already secured in playoffs. 10-1 in one league. I believe
Let's talk about your best team. Is that the 10-1 team?
10-1, yeah.
How did you approach that draft?
I believe I ended up having the second pick in the draft. There's different like ways that you can do it. I think this year I did it a little bit different. I believe I did running back. Then I did wide receiver. Just because I did a lot of reading. It's kind of what a lot of like the analysts were saying, try to stick to one position the first 2 picks so you can have a solid core. Even be able to use it as, trade capital down the line. Because if you have 2 top running backs and you have people out there that have 1 good running back, 1 good wide receiver, I now have something that I can use to my advantage. Mm-hmm. So how about you? How are you doing in fantasy?
Yeah, I employed that. I employed I wouldn't say similar, but I had that same thinking with my strategy. So both my leagues, I have a friends league and a work league. In the work league, I'm doing a little bit better. Friends league, not so much. I think I'm like 9th out of 14. In this league, I believe I'm 5th out of 14.
Okay.
Or 12, I should say. They're both 12-team leagues. Yeah, so they're both 12-team leagues, and I believe one's 9 and one's 5th. Both leagues, I drafted, I want to say 3 wide receivers right off the rip. Maybe 4 wide receivers right off the rip. I went wide receiver heavy, and man, I still, it's weird. Like, I like the strategy, even though it didn't work. Because, like, I have a bench. Like, my bench has, like, starting wide receivers on it who are scoring double digits every week.
It's
a good feeling.
It is.
But at the same time, I'm not winning games because the other parts of my roster is weak. So I feel like I'm going to definitely have to readjust how I approach the draft next year. My highest drafted running back in either league was DeAndre Swift in round, I want to say, 5 or 6.
Yeah.
So I didn't value the running back as much as I should have.
So I'm gonna recant on what I said because I'm pulling up my draft of my 10-1 team, and listen to this top 5 picks, and you're gonna laugh, and you're gonna be, how the fuck are you 10-1? CMC,
That's a great pick.
Devontae Smith,
That's another great pick.
T. Higgins.
What's T? Is he hurt?
He's been MIA this year.
Well, because Joe Burrow's been hurt, right?
He's also been dealing with injuries. Joe Burrow pulled injured his calf in preseason.
Third round. I see why you would have done that though.
Yeah. Ramondre Stevenson 4 and T.J. Hawkinson 5. That was my top 5.
I like that. What do you mean? T.J. Hawkinson's a good player.
But I got some steals later on.
He's like a tight end too, isn't he?
I believe he is. Now, I haven't even looked at his stats yet to see what he is this year.
Yeah, he's got to be like tight
they
end
have him
too.
as a season ranked 30.
Yeah, that guy's got it. He might be ahead of Kelsey.
I think he is. I think Kelsey's not having a good season this year.
Yeah, of course. It's the one fucking year I take Kelsey.
Right.
It's the one year I have Travis Kelsey on my team, and he's having a shit year. I mean, he's not having a shit year. He's scoring double digits most weeks.
Yeah.
But he's not having the year he had like last year.
Do you know who's been the because I guaranteed you, nobody has drafted this one gentleman that has to be the absolute best and has to be crowned the best waiver wire pickup this year. It has to be Kyron Williams.
I saw him in our work league. I went for him. I didn't get him.
No, I have him in 3 other leagues because I went to go get him in our work league, and I believe Nick ended up taking him.
Fucking Nick, dude. He got Achane too.
He did.
Although Achane got hurt, so
yeah, Achane is honestly it might be one of those seasons for Achane that he was injured before the season started, had a phenomenal 3-4 weeks, and then
it was like 6 weeks that he had that were great weeks.
And now he's done, and he can't get healthy again, and that's going to be the death of him. Is he can't get healthy again.
You want to hear something awful? I traded in my friends league. So some context for this is I was desperate for a running back, absolutely desperate. And I went around to everybody and nobody would give me shit. So what I ended up doing was and I know this is a bad trade, but I needed it. I traded Tyreek Hill for Achane and Chris Godwin.
Oh, that is desperate.
It was after 3 weeks of Achane scoring 20 points, though.
Yeah, he had
like 49, 22, 21, something like that.
Yeah.
So I didn't even have one running back. My top running back was James Cook.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And I have a whole, like I said, I prioritized wide receiver in my draft, so I had a bunch of people who could replace Hill.
I can see the desperation in that.
And I was losing every game. Like, I think the week before I made that trade, Tyreek Hill scored 26 points. And I lost. So I was like, well, I'm not winning with him. I might as well get rid of him. So.
Yeah.
All right. So we just did fantasy. All right. Moment of truth. We are on to picks. We're going to run down the board. I'm going to list off the game, and we're going to fucking say who's going to win. All right. Tonight, we have a first game of the week. Seahawks at Dallas. Who do you got?
I got them boys winning tonight.
Cowboys?
You want to know why?
Why?
Just because we didn't bring this up on the previous sections, so we'll make this real quick. You guys are what, 10-1?
Yep.
And you know who you're facing this week and next week?
It's the 49ers and the Cowboys.
And you know what happens if you lose back-to-back weeks?
Probably the 49ers get first place, right?
You guys go from first seed
to fifth?
To fifth.
Yeah.
And the Cowboys, I believe, either take the second or the third. I'm not sure how that breakdown goes between them and the Lions.
Yeah, well, if I had wheels, I'd be a wagon.
But yeah, no, I got the Cowboys winning tonight. Geno seems to be a little banged up with the elbow injury. You know, he just faced the 49ers, so that's a little bit of a nightmare coming into this week. Now facing another team Just to mention, the last 3 weeks, Cowboys have 16 sacks, 49ers have 15. So they just went from one team to another team that's just going to be all up on that ass. Who you got?
It kills me to say it, but I'm taking Cowboys as well. All right, so we both got Cowboys there. We got Colts at Titans. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going Colts. I think the Colts are an up-and-coming team. I like Shane Steichen, their new head coach. He was our offensive coordinator last year. I think he's a fiery guy, and he's leading. He's you know what Shane Steichen's working with right now? He's got a 5-pound bucket filled with 10 pounds of shit.
He does,
and he is dragging it across the finish line. So I think you get to Shane Steichen some players, and he'll be ripping. So I'm going to take Colts over Titans.
I'm going to do the same as well. Me personally, I would love to have been able to see the Colts do as good as they were doing with Anthony Richardson, which I hope he gets better and protects himself a little bit more. You know,
Minshew mania now.
You know what I mean? The guy got JT to come back and play. You know, JT didn't want to come back, didn't want to play. You got him to come back and play. I think that's going to support, you know, AT or AR in the long run. But I got the Colts taking this. Michael Pittman seems to be a matchup nightmare against the Titans.
Who have no cornerbacks, right?
They don't.
I don't think they have a cornerback.
So I got the Colts on this one as well.
Okay, we're both taking the Colts, so we're both agreeing here. Cowboys and Colts and Colts. We got the Falcons at the Jets. Ooh, did you hear the Jets open their 21-day practice window for Aaron Rodgers?
I did.
They just need to stay qualified for the playoffs.
And they're not going to, because I'm taking the Falcons in this one.
Falcons at the Jets. You really think the Falcons can muster enough offense against that Jets D?
Desmond Ridder is seeming to find his connection with Drake London. Bijan Robinson seems to be finding his way in the NFL.
I like Bijan.
And the Falcons defense can get themselves by. They've done it in other games where, you know, they've held their own. So yeah, I think the Falcons, they take this going into New York. New York doesn't seem to have an identity at quarterback. They can't seem to stick with one guy. Is it Zach Wilson? Is it Tim Boyle? Is it the fucking lunch lady who's serving them food? Who knows? So I'm going to take the Falcons on this one.
All right, I'm going to go with the Jets at home. They just opened the 20-day practice window for Aaron Rodgers, so I think that whole roster has something very important, something that's not talked about a lot, an intangible that you can't measure, and that's hope. I think the Jets have hope. So I think they're going to hold on and win there. Next, we got the Lions at the Saints.
There's only one correct answer with this one. The Lions. The
Saints
Lions
don't have a bad offense.
They do. Derek Carr.
You know what? I actually just pulled that last statement out of my ass. I have no idea how their offense is done. I have no clue.
You know,
but I feel like come on, Chris Olave, Derek Carr's not bad, right? And they still have Alvin Kamara.
Yep.
Is Michael Thomas hurt? Is he still running all those slants?
I'm pretty sure he's arrested.
Oh, Michael Thomas.
I'm pretty sure he's dealing with legal issues. I could be wrong, maybe misread that, but I'm pretty sure there is a meme circling around about, you know, Derek Carr and playing with criminals at wide receivers.
God.
You know, you have Ruggs at Oakland. Yeah, Michael Thomas.
But well, hopefully it's not as bad as the Bears defensive coordinator, huh?
What happened there?
Oh man, I mean, the rumors circulated about some bad stuff.
I'm gonna have to
bad stuff. Yeah.
While we continue to pick.
So you're gonna take the Lions there. You know what? I'm also going to take the Lions. I don't know what the fuck I was talking about. Next, we got the Denver Broncos. We have the Denver Broncos going up against the Houston Texans in Houston. We got Sean Payton and Russell Wilson going up against C.J. Stroud
and DeMeco Ryan
in Houston.
And
home game.
Just because I am a diehard Niners fan, DeMeco Ryan, I love you, I miss you, and I wish you were still with us. C.J. Stroud has been balling. And have we ever seen a rookie quarterback win MVP ever? If not, he is also another name that deserves his flowers, because that man, you young man, are balling out.
This season's not over. Give him some time. Flash in a bottle. Flash in the pan.
We're in week 13. Do you see this boy's stats as a rookie week 13 in this NFL?
I need 2 years from you before I crown you. I need 2 years.
I agree. But look at his stats now. look who he's throwing to. It's a bunch of rookies and not.
Nico Collins is pretty good. People should give Nico Collins more credit. Tank Dell's pretty good.
What
He's
year
a
are they?
rookie,
What year are they in?
Nico Collins is, I believe, in his second or third year.
Okay, newbie. We're, still new.
He's not a rookie, but
Tank Dell.
And then Tank Dell's a rookie.
Rookie.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got a rookie throwing to somebody who's in the league for 2 years, and then throwing to another. Who's their running
He
back?
deserves his credit. Well, they had
Singletary,
and then Damian Pierce, who got injured recently.
So again, let's give
Pierce,
the rookie his
definitely.
flowers.
Shit, he's carrying the Texans to a winning record. I mean, that deserves credit.
But I'm taking the Texans. Unfortunately, Broncos country. Let's ride. I don't have faith in you, Russell Wilson. I'm Sean Payne, you're an outstanding coach, but you took on a position that is much larger than you can take on. You went from having Drew Brees and that phenomenal Saints offense and defense to this. I'm taking the Texans.
All right, we got to rapid fire these next ones to stay on time here. But first of all, I'm going to take the Texans because I got C.J. Stroud and Tank Dell on my fantasy team, so I have invested interest. I'm going with the Texans, even though I believe the Broncos are going to make this a close game. I think it's going to be a messy game, and I think C.J. Stroud's not going to play that well. Next, we got the Chargers at New England.
Chargers.
Yeah, Chargers might put up 40 points, I think.
New England, just give up. Go for Caleb Williams. Don't show up.
Really, Caleb? You don't like the other guy? What's the other guy's name? I forget the other guy.
Well, that's who everyone's circling around this
I don't like
year.
Caleb Williams.
I don't
think
either.
He's soft.
I don't either.
Yeah.
Especially, granted, the NFL is a business, but he doesn't seem like he has really much of a love for the game. He cares more about the business aspect. I respect it, but you're not going to get far in the NFL if you don't care about the game.
Well, Trevor Lawrence has said that. Trevor Lawrence has said football isn't who I am. Football is just something that I do.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts would never say that.
Would never.
Jalen Hurts would never.
Brock Purdy would never.
I agree with that. I think even though he's a farmer, I think he likes that. I think Brock Purdy likes that simplicity.
Dude's still living with his college roommate, just getting by. He doesn't care.
You know what? Really, the only reasons I don't like Brock Purdy are because he looks a little bit like my ex-girlfriend's ex. And I hate the 49ers. But outside of that, I like Brock Purdy as a likable guy. But I'm going to go with the Chargers also. So we both got the Chargers kicking the Patriots' ass in that game.
I don't think the Patriots score a single fucking point this game.
Really? Wow.
Zappy's the starter.
Oh, well, maybe 7. I got 7. We haven't given scores to any of these games, but I'll go 41-7 Chargers.
I'm going 35-3.
Jesus H. All right, next we got up the Arizona Cardinals, and they're going up against the Steelers in Pittsburgh.
I just hate the NFC West. So out of my own interest, as much as I want to say the Cardinals because Kyler Murray's back and he seems to be kind of getting into his flow, but I'm gonna take the Steelers on this one. T.J. Watt's a menace to any quarterback. Kenny Pickett seems like he's getting his shit together. Mike Tomlin seems like he's invested in the personal development of Kenny Pickett. You got to get rid of Deontay Johnson so that way Kenny Pickett can continue to grow and work with wide receivers that actually want to be there. But I'm going to take the Steelers on this one. I'm
also going with the Steelers. I think that whole Deontay Johnson thing with not trying and quitting on a play is going to light a fire under their ass. And if he's not gone, then if he's playing or whatever is going to happen, I think that everyone else on that team is going to have a fire lit under their ass because Mike Tomlin won't. No. I would not want to be in any of those meeting rooms with Mike Tomlin this week. I think the 49ers are going to come out and play like they mean it, and they're going to beat the Cardinals. So we both got the Steelers there. We got the Dolphins at the Washington Commanders. I'm going to go ahead and just wrap this up because we'll say the Dolphins. That's a real quick one. I don't think the Commanders have shit in them. I think that Riverboat Ron, God bless the guy, defeating cancer. That's awesome, but I think he's a shitty head coach. He's never won shit. He has all this credit for having done nothing. So I'm going to go ahead and go with the Dolphins over the Commanders.
Sam Howell still the NFL passing leader?
He is.
I'm taking the Commanders on this one.
Whoa! Commanders at home over the Dolphins.
Taking the Commanders on this one.
You hear that, Dave?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Dude.
I'm sorry, bud, but the Dolphins don't seem to have that spark that they had in the beginning of the year, where they were dropping massive amounts of points on everybody. They got humbled very quickly when they faced the Buffalo Bills, and they got bent over. So they're coming down from Cloud 9, and the Commanders, again, they've won some games that are very, you wouldn't have think that they would have won. And Sam Howell, rookie quarterback, rookie, right?
Sam Howell's a rookie.
He's balling, he's throwing.
Behind the worst offensive line I've ever seen.
Yeah, and he's making it happen. So, also to the Dolphins, they just lost Jalen Phillips, torn ACL. So that defense is going to be down a little bit. I think the Commanders up. This is my upset of the week.
God damn. Yeah, it's a good upset. I disagree, but it's a good upset. Let's go. Let's see. And I think that could happen, No, I'm sticking with the Dolphins, though. You're not going to sway me. So I'm going to take, let's see, the Carolina Panthers at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm going to go first with this one. I'm going to say just having fired Frank Reich, who I believe is a good NFL coach. I think he's a good NFL coach. I heard some behind-the-scenes rumors that the reason that Frank Reich was fired was because he and the owner had disagreements, and I guess the owner wanted Bryce Young. Frank Reich wanted C.J. Stroud. He didn't like how small Bryce Young was. He didn't like that they had to trade away Bryce Young's top wide receiving target, what he would have been, to move up and get him. I forget who that was.
I'm not sure who that was either.
Yeah, I don't remember what the wide receiver, but he was their wide receiver one. The Panthers traded him away. So I think the Frank Reich was a good coach, and the Panthers got rid of him, and I think that's not going to galvanize the locker room like it does with some people, because I think that locker room liked Frank Reich.
They did 100%.
Yep. So I think the Buccaneers are going to go out there and they're going to fucking kick the Panthers' ass.
I'm gonna agree. I'm gonna agree with that. Bryce Young seems to be that type of guy where this first year, unlike C.J. Stroud, like this first year is his year to get acquainted with in the NFL, get used to the change of pace between college and the NFL. Some guys need that year, and then some guys can just come out swinging their dicks and just playing phenomenal, right? So I'm going to take the Bucs here. Baker Mayfield, as much as everyone hates him, I hate him just because of, the whole shenanigans between him and Nick Bosa. He's not a bad quarterback. Took the Browns to the ever first playoffs in a very long time and almost beat the Chiefs, which they should have, because that stretch for the goal line was a touchdown, not a fumble.
It's something, man. That counts for something, right?
But I'm taking the Bucs on this one as well.
Yeah, we both got the Bucs beating them. Let's see. We got the Browns at the Rams. I'm gonna go ahead and go with the Browns. I think the Browns' defense is too much for the Rams to handle. I don't give a shit if they're at home. It doesn't mean shit. LA fans, you don't give a fuck about the Rams. Don't even act like you do. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Browns, that defense, and they're still in the playoffs as of right now. I think Jerome Ford, I think fucking Garrett, whatever his first name is. I forget his first name. What's his first name?
Garrett?
Myles Garrett. I think Myles Garrett is going to be doing crossovers through that offensive line. And I got the Browns winning a close game against the Rams.
You know what's sad is, do you know who the Browns quarterback is right now?
Dorian Thompson-Robinson.
Okay. Yeah, you brought up Myles Garrett, but are you forgetting about that other monster of human being that's on the Rams side on their D-line?
Guy's on a downturn.
Don't you? That's disrespectful. That man.
Maybe I'm just used to seeing Jalen Carter ball out every week.
I'm a Niners fan, and I fear Aaron Donald.
I mean, Sue Opeta shut him out when the Eagles played him.
I'm taking the Rams.
Not one rush, not one hurry.
I'm taking the Rams on this one.
Rams over Browns?
Matthew Stafford's back. He seems a little bit healthier. Kyron Williams is a monster in the backfield. Cooper Kupp, which, by the way, you fucked me on a few weeks of fantasy. I'm probably out of playoffs in our work league because of him.
Did you trade for him?
I did, because in our work league, I believe I have Bijan Robinson as well, and I traded Saquon for him, thinking maybe beef up my wide receiver core because it's pretty shitty. But I'm gonna take the Rams. They seem like they're clicking a little bit with Kyron Williams back. You got Cooper Kupp, you got Nakua there, you got Tutu Atwell, and then they have a pretty decent defense that can literally stop that no-name quarterback fucking doing anything. So I'm picking the Rams on this one, even though I hate the NFC West.
I can't disagree with you there. I think the Browns are underdogs, but I'm still taking them. Next, we got the Kansas City Chiefs at the Green Bay Packers. Sunday Night Football.
Upset alert.
Oh, you got the Packers beating the Chiefs at home,
I'm taking Jordan Love and the Packers to beat you, Kansas City Chiefs. I'm sorry. Sorry. Mahomes, you don't have it. I think I mentioned this to you before. It's not a coincidence that Eric Bieniemy leaves your offensive coordinator position, goes to Washington. Sam Howell is now the NFL passing leader, and then now Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. You can't seem to score a fucking touchdown in the second half of football. They only have one touchdown in the fourth quarter. So I'm taking Jordan Love and the Packers in this game. That's my other upset.
Yeah, I think despite the fact that Eric Bieniemy is a criminal and I would never want him on my team, he held a gun to or pointed a gun in a pregnant woman's face, or not face, but you know what? All this is allegedly. Well, it's not allegedly. He actually has a criminal record, but I don't know. He seems like a good coach. He seems intense. I just don't think he's a professional. There's always stories about how he comes out as not easy to get along with gentlemen. With players and whatnot. Wouldn't want him on my team. So, but I do think he's a good offensive coordinator. I do think the Chiefs miss Eric Bieniemy there.
100%.
I absolutely think they miss him. I think the Commanders' offense is better for having him. But I'm still taking the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes is still the overall best quarterback in the league by a mile. Even though I'm a Jalen Hurts guy, he's not Patrick Mahomes.
Not anymore. He's on his downfall right now. They're trying to treat Patrick Mahomes like they are treating Brady, where Brady was able to play with anyone on the fucking team to bring him to the Super Bowl, make a push for the Super Bowl at least.
That's true. How many games have they lost, though?
What do they have? 3-4 losses now, the Chiefs?
I think they only have 3.
But you also got to look at the other games that they played that they should have lost, but they didn't because
they should have beat the Eagles.
They have the Chiefs. The Chiefs have the refs in their back pocket. So
that's very true. The Vikings should have beat them.
They should have lost to the Vikings. Yep. And there's a few other teams that they played this year that should have been losses 100%.
Well, Scanlon catches that ball. They beat the Eagles. But
let's be honest,
that's an if though. It doesn't count.
We could put the blame on Scanlon for missing that, but that ball
a little overthrown.
Was a little overthrown.
A little bit.
But yeah, I'm taking.
You got the Packers. I got the Chiefs though.
I'm taking the Packers.
I believe in Andy. I think Andy Reid is the best head coach in football right now. And he's paired with the best quarterback in football. So I'll take the Chiefs, Andy Reid and Patrick
Rumor
Mahomes.
is he doesn't even have a play sheet in front of him. It's just a menu that he's looking at to figure out what he's going to order after the game.
That's good. So we got the Cincinnati Bengals. For Monday Night Football, we got the Cincinnati Bengals at the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Hands down, I'm taking Jacksonville. The Bengals are on downfall.
No Joe Burrow, right? So
he's out for the year.
Yep.
Not to discredit the quarterback that's filling in his place, but unfortunately, he can't utilize Jamar Chase the way that he should be.
Who is a beast.
T. Higgins is in and out with injuries, so that offense went from a 3-headed monster with Joe Burrow leading the way to, in reality, they're just really relying on Joe Mixon, and if they continue to do that, he's going to end up getting hurt. I'm not even drinking real beers, and I'm fucking burping. Joe Mixon, if they continue to overload his workload, he's going to end up getting hurt, and they're just going to fuck their chances for next year, which I think at this point, play your backups a little bit more. Take the season as a loss. Protect your assets for next year.
I would do the same thing. I would want the same thing if I was a fan of the team. I would say, let's just sit our guys.
Yeah. What's the point?
Yeah, there's no point.
Where is it?
What's their record right now? Because the Eagles were 11-2 when they lost Carson. They still had 3 regular season games to go.
You said 11-2?
Yeah, they still had 3 regular seasons to go, I think.
They were.
They had more than that, I think, when Foles took over.
Yeah, but still, they were still in position to make playoffs.
Yeah, Carson put him in position. They was 11-2 when he got hurt. So
the Bengals don't. They're 5-6.
Yep, that's a great point. That's true. I would want them to sit there, guys. All right, last but not least, final game of the week. It's not the final game of the week. It's actually 4:25 on Sunday, but I've saved it for last, obviously, because we're both fans of the team. So we get the 49ers playing in Philadelphia against the Philadelphia Eagles. Who do you got?
Well, before I give my pick, I just want to say to the NFL out there, you better fucking flex this game to the 8 o'clock game because nobody wants to watch the Chiefs and the Packers.
It would be a great Sunday night game.
So little fun stat before I give you my pick, which we all know what it is, but I'm also going to throw.
Do we?
Out,
I don't know. Do we know what
I'm
it is?
also going to. I'm also going to throw out a prediction of the final score as well. This season, when healthy, we are 8-0 and we're winning by double digits. Right? I would say the number is closer to 20 points we're winning by. We're healthy. We're walking in. We got Trent Williams. We got Debo. We got Ayuk. We got CMC. We got George Kittle. We got Brock Purdy slinging it. I'm predicting this is going to be a 38.
You know it's going to be raining, right?
A 38 to 17.
38-17?
38-17.
38. I don't. You realize that the Jalen Hurts has never lost a game like that. You know that, right?
There's always a first.
It's never happened. The one game like last year when he played and they lost, it was a 2 or 3, 1 or 2, 3. I think it was a 1 or 2 point defeat against the Commanders.
Yeah, it was a close game with the Commanders. Yeah,
I was a one possession game. The Eagles don't lose by that much. You think the 49ers are going to come in and kick their ass the way they kicked the Cowboys' ass this year?
They say there's a first for everything. And
do you? First of all, do you actually believe that?
I 100% believe it.
So it's not just your fandom. You
no,
believe
it's 100. It's a true prediction of what this game is going to turn out to be. If that
happens, I'll be really upset.
The only concern that I have is with Hufanga being out for the year. We have Jair.
He's a good safety.
He is. All pro safety, right?
Not playing.
This is his second or third year. We have Jair Brown stepping in, who's a rookie who seemingly has followed the mentality of the next man up, playing pretty good football as a rookie. So I personally believe that yes, it's going to be a 38 to 17 game.
38-17. Wow. See, I think the Eagles are going to win, but I'm not going to disrespect the 49ers that much. I obviously have the Eagles winning. I believe the Eagles are never out of a game with Jalen Hurts at quarterback. I don't think that guy will let them lose. He has the winner gene. I think it's going to be raining. The Eagles' last 2 games have been in the pouring rain. The 49ers are used to playing in sunny San Francisco. I think they're coming into Philadelphia. I think they're going to be too fired up. I think this game means too much to them for revenge. I think the 49ers want to win and beat the Eagles so bad that they're going to be going 1,000 miles an hour. And once the Eagles, it's going to be like a boxing match. All the Eagles have to do is withstand that first energy surge that the 49ers will undoubtedly come out with. You guys are going to probably blow the stadium out of the water with the first maybe quarter of play with the energy level. But that can play against you, my friend. And I think it will. And I think the 49ers are going to make a couple of mistakes that are going to cost them dearly. And I think the Eagles are actually going to get out to a lead because they're going to be able to withstand those Mike Tyson knockout blows the 49ers are going to try to give them in the first quarter. There's no way the 49ers come out of here low energy. They're going to be fired up for this game, and I think that's going to cause them to make some mistakes. I got the Eagles winning 24-21 in the rain in Philadelphia.
You think so?
It's a close game.
Yeah. Let me put it like this. The boys...
Who are the boys? Cowboys?
The boys, the Niners, the boys, the men. They don't take things personally. No game's ever a revenge game.
You don't think Debo took it personally?
No, of course not. Let me put it this way.
Bradbury trash.
Let's put it this way. When we faced the Cowboys, there was a lot of speculation, a lot of trash talk in there from the Cowboys to the Niners.
The Niners know they're better than the Cowboys.
But still, that could have been the same kind of predicament of a revenge game, or we're gonna blow them out the water and make. No, we don't do that. We play smart football.
Revenge against what? You already beat them in the playoffs last year. What was
just the talk. You know what I mean?
I see. Yeah,
the Niners aren't gonna come in and put it as what happened in the NFC Championship. We all know what happened. The QBs got hurt. It is what it is. That's not a revenge game. A revenge game would have been if Brock Purdy stayed that game and then we lost to a close game. That would be a revenge game. This, my friend, is going to be a game where the Niners show the true powerhouse that they actually truly are when healthy, and they're going to dominate.
They're much healthier than the Eagles going in. If you put this game on paper, 49ers should probably win. I think on paper the 49ers should probably win.
Underdogs already?
We are underdogs at home. Massive disrespect. But I think this game comes down to Jalen Hurts. It's not about the rest of the roster. It's not about Hassan Reddick, who's going to be playing with a firecracker up his ass. It's not about Kyle Shanahan in his sometimes good play designs. He's got a good running game. His play designs are very interesting. Sometimes he puts a backup tight end blocking the league's best pass rusher in the NFC Championship game, which is not a good decision.
You're giving me nightmares.
But this is the thing: is I don't think that the culture in San Francisco is what it should be because of Kyle Shanahan. I think Kyle Shanahan's a genius, a football mind, but I don't think he's a leader. So I think the 49ers, like I said, are going to come in too fired up. This game's more personal than the Cowboy one is. I don't care what anyone says. It 100% is more personal. And I think the 49ers want to win. And this game means more to the 49ers. Let's be real. The Eagles could lose this game and it not even matter.
Yeah, because
it's a trilogy. There's going to be a trilogy. We're going to face each other again in the playoffs.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, I think you guys lose in first round of playoffs.
What is this? We saved this for the last couple of minutes of the podcast. You think we're going to lose in the first round of the playoffs?
You guys aren't getting the first seed this year.
Holy shit. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So Milton's got the Eagles beating the 49ers. I mean, the 49ers.
No, I do not got the Eagles beating the 49ers. I got the Niners beating the Eagles 38-17. Come witness it. 405. Is it 405 or 425?
425. Yep.
425 Sunday.
Yep. We're gonna work something out. Maybe we'll be able to live stream the last couple of minutes of the game, or some segment of the game. We'll live stream a portion of it together, and we'll have some live reactions, possibly.
100%.
So everyone, tune in for our live reactions. Make sure you're following 2 and 6 Sports on Facebook. Thank you, Milton, for joining me on the 2 and 6 Sports podcast. Any closing statements you'd like to make?
Click that follow, subscribe button. Just keep tagging along, and follow. I fell in love with this podcast the first episode, so just keep follow, subscribe, and just tag along on this adventure of this podcast.
Yep. I'm gonna say comment down below you guys' picks for every game. If you want to join in the pick madness, make sure you comment your picks down below. Patriot fans, come on, let's hear it. Come on, talk some shit, talk some smack. Put it in the comment section, and we'll be enjoying watching you guys lose yet another game on Sunday. Until then, we'll see you guys next time, and have a good Sunday.
Have a good one.